Find your 1,000 true fans. This is a great concept that was actually created by one of our guests on London Real named Kevin Kelly. And it's quite simple. Find your 1,000 true fans. Now, what does that mean? Well, it means this. A lot of people create a business and they think, Brian, there's 7 billion people in the world. If I can get 1% of those people to buy my product, that's 70 million customers. Wow, let's go ahead and do that. The truth is this. If you create a product for 70 million people, you create something that's so generic, it's worse than vanilla ice cream because you're trying to appeal to all ages, all countries, all genders, all races, all occupations, and nobody actually resonates with your product because it's not specific. Whereas if you focus on what we call your 1,000 true fans, a very specific type of person that has a specific challenge that you can provide a specific solution to, those people love your product and they go all in. And the concept of 1,000 true fans is this. If you have a true fan, that's someone that just loves everything you do. That person is going to buy a ticket to go see you speak. They're going to download your podcast. They're going to buy any products that you put out there and sell. And over the course of a year, they're going to spend about $100 with you over the course of that year. You get 1,000 of those together, that's $100,000 in revenue. That's enough for you to quit your job and start your business full time. And so if you focus on those 1,000 people, first of all, you'll actually create something that means something to someone, and those people will become your greatest ambassadors. Second of all, by focusing on them, you'll create enough revenue to be able to quit your full-time job and now go all in on this, and then you can go bigger and bigger. The greatest example I always give people is Mark Zuckerberg. Now, people know Zuckerberg now from WhatsApp. It's on my phone, 3 billion active users between WhatsApp, Instagram, and Facebook. And people say, Brian, you'd say, that's not 1,000 true fans. But Mark Zuckerberg, when he was 18 years old, started off with 1,000 true fans. We've all seen the movie, right, about Facebook, which of course must be true. And he started with the freshman class at Harvard, which is 1,000 freshmen. And guess what? They were a very specific type of person, 18-year-old high achievers living in Cambridge, Massachusetts, right down the street from where I went to school at MIT. And he created something that they loved. It was a product like Hot or Not. It had put 2 pictures up of the student body and you chose one over the other. And he worked on those 1,000 true fans until he had a great product, and then he made it bigger and bigger. He actually left it in universities for 5 years before the general public was allowed to even be on the Facebook platform. If it's good enough for Mark, it's good enough for you. This is the reason why most businesses fail. This is one of the big mistakes that maybe you've made in the past. I teach this in week 2 of my course, 1,000 True Fans. You get very specific. Solve a problem for a nurse who's a single mother who isn't taking care of her health and her body and her fitness. She comes home tired, she's overworked, she spends all her time working on other people during the day, and she's got 3 kids. Solve one of her problems and she's gonna love you, tell all of her nurse friends, and you're gonna be making hundreds of thousands of dollars. Try to solve a problem for a single mother around the world, no one's gonna resonate with your language, your points of view, the problems of your customers, and you will fail. Going small is the way you go large. And this is an important concept, and again, something we do in week 2 of the Business Accelerator. I wanted to now share with you an excerpt from one of my students. This is Dr. Carla Stanson. When she joined London Real, she had seen over 15,000 patients at the National Health Service, the NHS here, but she wanted to find a new way of looking at medicine. She actually wanted to specialize in eczema, which sometimes it's hard to know what the medical cure is because there's so many psychological elements involved. And so she decided to take a more holistic approach. So use the Business Accelerator, and here's a little bit more about Carla.
And you said to me, you need a product. And I thought to myself, oh, okay. And I hadn't really thought about a product, hadn't really kind of confined it, because I kind of made it in my head, and in my doctor brain I was like, a product equals pharmaceuticals, and I don't want to get into that. But you started that cogwheel turning in me, and then I started watching more and more of your content and came across Anita Moorjani, who talks about a lady who suffered with stage 4 lymphoma, had an out-of-body experience where she experienced unconditional love for the first time, and had realised that all her decisions to that point had been made through fear, and felt that this had manifested her condition. And quite honestly, that really deeply resonated with me personally. All the decisions that I'd been making that had been misguided had been through fear, and all these 70,000 plus patients that I've seen who were suffering had been in this state too. And I realised that I needed to break out of my fears and start doing something about this, and I couldn't ignore it. And I knew that you had this course, and I just loved the ethos of your organisation. I knew that I could trust it, that you were open, that you were honest, that you were top of your game. And I thought, you know what, I don't have a lot of business acumen. I've kind of focused on the medicine. I'm going to trust in this team, in the process, and just run with it. And here I am now.
Now that was Dr. Carla Stanton. The reason she was successful in my business accelerator is because she determined her 1,000 true fans. And these were people suffering from eczema in the UK that couldn't find a medical solution. I want you now to type in the chat and tell me, what is your micro niche? Go really specific. I saw some things earlier here, people talking about digital marketing, podcasting, but that's not specific enough. So type in here something really specific about your micro niche. Tell me the age of the person you want to help, the gender, the country they're in, what's their profession, and what's their single biggest challenge. That's how you create a micro niche. Type that in the chat right now. I want to talk to you about it and help you get to the next level. This is crucial when you want to create your business.
We're in a dark age. We've lost our compass. We don't know who we are. We don't know where we want to go. What is to be done?
It's going to take some consciousness change to get us out of the box we're in.
La maldición de ayahuasca, nosotros podemos conectar con esa persona y se da cuenta dónde está la raíz del problema de él. Pues ahí se trabaja.
Sometimes I feel anxious and unappreciative of the things I have.
There's no such thing as work-life balance. There are work-life choices, and you make them and they have consequences.
What we don't understand about psychedelics is a very thick book. They can help you orient yourself morally, but look the hell out.
You don't always get what you want with ayahuasca, but you always get what you need. The diseases of individual are the diseases of the world. Our culture, soul, is severely wounded.
Humanitarian crisis growing by the day.
Global warming is the greatest fraud that's been perpetrated on mankind this century.
When you take these lessons in, it's kind of a process to make sure that it comes into yourself. Some of the hardest work is when you go home. Integration means bringing things into the whole person.
Maybe we should be considering that the depth of human experience is more than just material things and technology and our egos.
We all get stuck in a mold. That's what can happen with ayahuasca. You get that mold, and she fucking smashes it on the floor. Now, what are you gonna do? Now, who are you?
Heavens are collapsing. This is the time to change. If you want to raise human consciousness, there has never been a better time.
La ayahuasca nos fortalece nuestra mente, nos abre nuestra creatividad, nuestro amor, nos conecta uno a uno mismo.
Treno ayahuasca supai kuna chamu riri no chamu. Siji siji manjai to chamu riri.